all right? Discipline is the engine that got you through today. It's the same engine that our brothers and sisters in the world take no mind to tend to. What's your question, young brother?
Would God be in our brain if we were still alive?
If God would talk to you, absolutely, and if you would listen, he would tell you to do the right thing. But if you don't listen to him, then he would leave you, and then you would die. Do you understand?
Wait, so you're saying I would die
Yes.
in my sleep?
No. You would die from smoking cigarettes, from doing drugs. You understand? You would die from not going to school and becoming a drug addict. No. You would die from things like that. The same thing that kills everyone. From doing drugs. You understand? What'd you say? From not things like that. The same thing that drug addict everyone. No. You would die from things like that. The same thing that kills everyone. What'd you say? No, you wouldn't. What'd you say? You would kill them. Right. You would defeat them. You would not die. No. You would live through anything if you listen to God. Right. The same thing that kills everyone. No, you wouldn't. You would kill them. Well, just keep learning. Keep coming to class. We'll teach you how to use the weapon, okay? We'll show you. Go ahead.
If I may, we're teaching his father how to do that right now.
There you go. There you go. Let me get a bundle. Let me get the young brother right here. Go ahead. What's your question? Teach you how to use the weapon, okay? We'll show you the weapon, okay?
If I may, we're teaching his father. If I may, we're teaching
There you go. There you go.
go.
Well, that's why we have to be good.
Right.
That's why we have to be good. That's right. Good question. Okay.
Well,
good job. Go ahead.
If I may, the young brother did have another question. I thought he was going to ask that one. I didn't know how to properly answer it. Does a warrior cry?
Can a warrior cry is probably the more accurate. Absolutely. A warrior can definitely cry. It should just, if a warrior cries, it should be about something worthy enough to make a warrior cry.
Right.
But a woman can cry, because it's Tuesday. She can definitely cry. It's just
John, tell him what it is.
to make sure. All right? No sweat. I got you. Just to make sure. When I was coming up, we didn't have phones, so we didn't know when sundown was. We had to damn near judge it by when it got absolutely black.
Right.
So I just continued that. 1 second, let me get another question. Go ahead, Abun, you up. We didn't know when sundown was. We had to damn near absolutely black. Absolutely black. I just continued that. 1 second. I just continued that. 1 second. We didn't know when sundown was. We had to damn near absolutely black. Good precept. I'll give you that. You took it to somebody that I was reading. On a similar topic. Put your hand down 1 second now. Put your hand down. Give me 1 second. I'll get you Proverbs. Put your hand down 1 second. Put your hand down 1 second. Okay, the one I want that's similar is Ecclesiasticus 19:6. All right, that's a precept for this question. The one I want that's similar. The one I want Ecclesiasticus. I'm going to go down to the 19:6. That's a precept. We're going to go down to 12. The one I want is similar. We're going to go down to the so this is the same talking. This is the same topic. This is about watching your mouth. We're going to go down to that's the whole topic that we're discussing right now. Watching your mouth. All right. Whenever you're ready, Abun, we'll rock it out. Topic. This is about watching your mouth. This is about watching your mouth. Everyone else, you can pass out the waters of what you might have in here, all right? Do we have them?
We have a few waters and we have a water.
Not like tonight, you want to have a ton of waters. Have waters for everybody, for whoever is over the caretaker. Someone should probably run the store.
For me, Bub Prashant, water. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 19, verse 6. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babbling. Okay, Salakia. Sir. We are at Proverbs chapter 17, verse 9. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. Okay, so Proverbs chapter 17, verse 9. He that covereth a transgression.
Whenever you read the book of Proverbs or any of the books of wisdom of the Bible, and including the New Testament, right? If they're telling you that anything is wrong or there's something that you should not do, it is always referring to something that is against the law.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And being a gossiper is against the law. A talebearer is against the law. This is speaking about that. This is not speaking about taking a brother to counsel, because that is the formal way to make sure that the transgression between you and he stays between you and he, as opposed to letting the people judge, or, all of the brothers on Facebook or chat house or whatever that thing is. Clubhouse, yes, right? You take it through him alone, then you take it to specific men on the council. That matter can be resolved and no one ever hears of it. Do you understand? Yes, sir. It can be completely resolved without spreading it through the school to thereby tarnish the valuable reputation of the brothers involved. So that's what this is speaking about. You can read a little more if you like.
Proverbs 17 and 9. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends.
That's gossiping. Is it coming clear to you now?
Makes sense.
He that repeateth a matter separateth very friends, close friends. Why? Because you're gossiping. So then you go tell Abijah, so-and-so said this about you. So-and-so said that about you. Then you go tell the Levi, well, Elijah said this about you. And now you are the one separating these close friends. They would be close if not for your word, if not for what you said. Come on.
Slightly, sir. This is just this is a question in general. But that would apply to counselors as well, like hearing certain things and then going and speaking about it?
Absolutely it does. Yes, man. If someone comes to you in counsel to get help for something, you shouldn't shame and embarrass them on Facebook.
Sir.
You shouldn't do that. Can someone be shamed and embarrassed on Facebook? Absolutely. I will do that. I'll shame and embarrass everyone that needs to be shamed and embarrassed. Because why? Because it's my duty. It's my position under Commanding General YAHANNA to handle discipline in the Israelite school of UPK. But it is not your job.
Right.
It's not your position. Right? If someone needs to be disciplined in that way, I will do it very purposeful, on purpose. Not because I'm venting or angry at all, but because this is the proper judgment for what they have done. Right? If you're in the counseling department and someone confides in you for help, you absolutely are not to go and get drunk and tell everybody about it. You won't be counseling anyone ever again. And what they'll hear on Facebook is, this brother is not authorized to counsel. I'll say that on Facebook. Everyone understands. Next. I mean,
that was it on Proverbs.
You want the precept? I'll give it to you, sir.
If you could, sir. I'm grabbing it now. Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 6 in the Apocrypha. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife.
That's what you need. This is once again against gossiping. He that can rule his tongue will live without strife. If you could watch your goddamn mouth, my God, it would lessen so much of your pain. If you could just watch your mouth. And so many people, especially sisters, but not excluding brothers, you can't watch your mouth. So many, murders happen from talk. Just from somebody talking and gossiping on social media, which at my age, I wouldn't even have imagined that would be possible. That someone could get killed from the internet. Like, you young brothers, it might seem normal, but to me it's like, it's almost like he got killed over a video game. That's what it sounds like in my brain. Like, he got killed over Donkey Kong? He's dead over the Pac-Man? It sounds ridiculous that you are dead now because of something you said on Facebook. Well, that's people that can't watch their mouths, Doc. And now with Facebook, it is just giving you a larger venue to run your stupid mouth. And so now you're in strife with everyone. Now you're dead and your friends are dead. And when you sit and tell that story, and when you say, well, why did he get killed? Why did your cousin die? Well, see, we were on Chat House, and we was, he went this, say again? We went on, what is the name of the goddamn thing? Clubhouse. We went on Clubhouse, and he said this, and he said instant messaged me, or he inboxed me. And if that's why somebody died, that's going to be a stupid thing to tell a judge. That's going to be a very ridiculous thing to sit in a courtroom and tell to a judge, to tell him something that happened on Facebook. And that's why you about to go away forever, right? If you don't want that strife, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Sisters, watch your mouth. My God. Not sisters in the truth in this aspect. But women in the world get so many brothers killed from getting in an argument with somebody and then going and telling their cousin or their uncle. Or you get in a fight with your husband. Meanwhile, you know you and your husband fight every weekend. Sometimes he wins, sometimes you win. Some of these houses, brother, it's not, a woman is not getting abused. It's mutual combat in that house. They're in that house, brother, and listen, she wins some, she lose some. Sometimes she's the one that hits him first. Sometimes he's the one that hits her first. These are just two animals living with each other. Both of them are animals. She gets mad about something he did on his phone, she goes upside his head. He gets angry at her, he smacks her in the face. And this all happens in full view of the children. Some people are just animals, and they're married to each other. But what does she do? Call her cousin and act like she's being beat to death in the house. Call her friends, call her mom. After she calls her mom calls her brother. And when she calls them, she's not going to be the animal in the house, stabbing you with a knife. She's going to cry like a baby on the phone to her brother and to her cousins. And then now someone gets killed now because she doesn't know how to watch her damn mouth. Tell your mama, well, Mom, he's not beating me. Really, I found something in his phone, and I scratched his face with my nails. And I threw hot chicken grease on him, and then he smacked me. Tell your mother the whole damn story. Watch your mouth. Watch what you say so that you don't have strife. Keep going.
Like it, sir. And he that hateth babbling shall have less evil.
What's babbling? Talking too damn much. It's like yapping. You get the point? Yappity, yap, yap, yap. That's babbling. Talking for nothing, saying nothing. Keep going.
Verse 7, rehearse not. It's like, verse 7. Rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee.
You get the point, right?
I understand, sir.
You gotta watch your mouth, man. I mean, and in the UPK, once again, if you go to the Christian church, they encourage you to express yourself. They encourage you to, tell all of your dreams and all of the ways that God talks to you. In here, the conversation between you and God is a one-way conversation. He talks to you through this podium, and you shut the hell up. And that is your communication with God. You don't have to have a back-and-forth communication. You don't have to talk and run your stupid mouth, because too many times you think that what you are saying is important and necessary and vital for human consumption, but it is not. It is destructive, and it is going to harm you as well as everyone that listens to you. Shut your mouth. Keep going.
Ecclesiasticus 19:8. Whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives.
Whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives. This is basic wisdom. It's in the Bible. You can live your entire life from the Bible. You better live your entire life from the Bible. Whether he be an enemy or a friend. Don't talk with other men of another man's life. Shut your goddamn mouth. What are you doing? Keep going.
And if thou canst without offense, reveal them not.
If you can without offense, don't reveal it. This is a scripture against gossiping. Everyone understands, right? Go ahead, next question. Online?
Khan, the first one we have online is Salakia Katab, Salakia Adawan. Can I get a precept for 1 Corinthians 15 and 4?
Solid. Go ahead.
Somebody got it? Hold up one sec, sir. There's 1 Corinthians 15 and 4. And that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures. They want a precept for that?
Oh, a precept for him. My Holy One shall not see corruption. I take that. You can find that. For it was said that his Holy One shall not see corruption. That's the prophecy in the Old Testament that was fulfilled by Christ not decaying, his body not decaying into dust like everyone else before him and after him. All right? His body did not decay into dust. He was resurrected. In that same body, he went to the Father. Also, you can get the precept where it said he came before the Father as a lamb slain. All right, I'll put it to you in a nutshell. Here's one of the major prophecies that the man Jesus fulfilled to prove that he was the Messiah that the Israelites have been waiting for thousands of years. The healing of the sick, that was a major prophecy as described in the Old Testament. They always knew that when the Messiah came or when the Savior came, he would heal the sick. That's in the Old Testament. That he would be hated of all men. That's in the Old Testament. Another major one is that he would come from the seed of David. That's in the Old Testament. There is no way that Jesus could prove that he was the Messiah without him being from David's family line, and he would have had to have been the firstborn son of a man who was a son of David. Joseph was the firstborn son of his father, who was the firstborn son of his father, who was the firstborn son of his father, who was Solomon, which makes Christ the heir to David's throne, right? That's in the Old Testament. It had to be fulfilled in the New Testament. Whoever the Messiah was had to come from not just any man. Whoever the Messiah was at that time had to be Joseph's son, because Joseph was the one that sat in the seat of Solomon's firstborn son. It's in the book of Matthew. It's in the book of Luke. So one of Joseph's sons, if the Messiah was going to come at that time, would have had to be from Joseph. Come on.
Salakia, sir, what's it called? Solomon's not mentioned in Luke. That's one of the ones.
That's Joseph is mentioned in Luke.
Khan, sir.
Right? Joseph, the son had to come from Joseph. And Joseph is in Luke as well as Matthew. You get the point now. Whoever the Messiah was had to come from Joseph. Come on.
I know we get this all the time, but if I can get an understanding, what's it called? Because they give two different sons of David for which one he comes from.
They give two. Who gives two different sons of David?
What's it called? Matthew said Solomon, I believe. Luke says Nathan.
They don't. Neither one gives two different sons of David. It's the same list. That would mean the Bible, of course, is contradicting itself, and that from other precepts. I'm Freddie. Everyone drank and ate already who needs to? Everyone solid?
Khan, sir.
Everyone drank and eat. You know the fast is over now. Clap it up. The Day of Atonement is at an end. I'll take it now if you don't mind. No, please. I'll take a scotch if it's all right in the tonic water. I appreciate it, boy. Special occasion is the end of the Day of Atonement. Go ahead.
Khan, sir, I have it. Luke 3 and 31.
Go ahead.
This is Luke 3 and 31. Which was the son of Malaiah, which was the son of Manan, which was the son of Mattatha, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse.
So you believe that that's saying that Matha was...
No, Nathan.
Nathan, right.
I'm just confused on who that is.
I'll break it down for you.
God.
Okay, when you read the book of Matthew and the book of Luke, right?
Right.
That's the same family, right? It's all the family of King David, going back either to Adam or going back to Isaac, right? Abraham, right? It's the lineage. One lineage is the direct lineage. That's in Matthew.
God.
The one in Luke is not the direct lineage, but it's naming all of the famous people in the lineage. All of the people that you could go, man, he's great. He's wonderful, right? And even in both of them, you see that Ruth is mentioned in one?
Right.
It's because Ruth is
mentioned in
famous.
Matthew, kind of.
Right, Ruth is famous. These lineages aren't like, don't think a family tree like everyone. This is the record of his birth.
Right,
But this is the proof that this man should be king, meaning he comes from Ruth. Ruth is his grandmother.
Right.
This brother and Nathan and that brother, it's trying to lay down a case that his bloodline is so solid, it's far better than Herod's. That's the point is a case to be made, but it's not who his actual father was. You can find Joseph also. What book are you in?
This is Luke.
Skip down to Joseph.
Joseph.
I'll get you a bunch.
Oh, Salakia. Joseph would be in the top. Khan. And 23, and Yahushua himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli.
All right, then you're going to go to Matthew.
Khan, Matthew.
Find Joseph in Matthew.
Khan. There's Matthews 1 and 16, I believe it is. Khan, 16. And Jacob begat Joseph, the son of Mary.
There you go. So now Joseph is not in dispute in these lineages because he's in both.
Right.
You get my point, which is the whole the mystical thing about Joseph is that he's not the son of Jesus. That's the lie. But of course, in both of the lineages, one more direct, the other one the famous people. Right. I believe Matthew might be the famous people. Is that right?
Matthew's the famous.
Matthew is the famous people. Luke is the one more direct. But Joseph is in both of them. So that is not up for dispute.
Right.
Because he's in both of them. David's son is Solomon. He was David's heir, which of course you know that from just reading the Bible. Come on.
Salakia, the what's called the Rahab that's mentioned in Matthew, that's not the whore that we saved, right?
Yeah, okay. I asked General Yohanna about that about 6 months ago. I believe that's a different Rahab, but I have to check. But I believe it is a different Rahab. But let me just check with Commander General Yohanna first before you teach it. Let me get a bun 1 second.
Okay,
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that Matthew 1 was the famous, and Luke 3 is the
Thought I appreciate that. Matthew 1 is the famous one. Luke is the more direct one. Go ahead.
And if I may, one last one. Rehoboam, his mother is known, if I'm not mistaken, a heathen.
Let me get a fork or something, please. Go ahead.
His mother is a heathen.
Who?
Rehoboam, Solomon's son, because you know Solomon.
Okay, I can't recall off the top of my head, so don't teach it yet, but go to your Bible dictionary. If it's something direct and solid, if not, you got to check back with me, all right? And I'll, of course, go to General Yohanna. Okay, go ahead. I appreciate it. Any other questions online?
Khan, next, priest and officer of 1,000 Yarash. Salakia, sir, can I get a breakdown of Isaiah 58 and 7?
Isaiah 58 and 7.
Khan.
Okay, you got it.
Khan, sir.
You holding those precepts for me, right, Abun? The precepts for the Day of Atonement.
Isaiah 58, verse 7. Salakia, 1 sec, sir. Verse 7. Khan. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh?
Read it one more time. So La Yashala.
7. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house, when thou seest the naked?
Is it not to?
Not to, Khan.
You better read the verse above it.
Khan. Salaki, if I may, this is cry aloud, spare not, yet they seek me daily, that scripture. That chapter. So this is verse 6. Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke, if I may. This is the precept for the Day of Atonement being a fast.
I got you.
Khan,
he wants me to break it down for him?
Khan, I believe he wants a breakdown of 7.
Where are we at again?
Isaiah 58, and I just read 6 and 7.
Isaiah 58
Khan.
and 6. Bear with me. Okay. Let's go to 1. Isaiah 58 and 1, all right?
Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Most officers know this precept. This is one of the major precepts that calls us out on the street to teach.
Right.
Many people think we're crazy lunatics because we yell on street corners.
Right.
Well, this is the reason that we yell on street corners. And even with the advent of the internet, the UPK will always yell on street corners. It is something that is bred, it's something that is bred into us, right? To go out and invite the kind of conflict that the Word of God invites.
Right.
To go out and say it in front of the people that believe that they can challenge us and defeat us in the Word of God. And it is something that we, of course, will always do because of precepts like this one. Cry aloud, spare not. What does it mean to spare? To have pity. Don't have any pity. Go out and speak. Don't feel sorry for them. Don't, think you shouldn't say it, and don't get squeamish about it. Go out in the street and tell the truth, man. That is your obligation as a man of God in the UPK. It's not something you have a choice to do. Keep going.
Salakia. Show my people their transgression.
And do what?
Show my people their transgression.
And show my people their transgressions. That's why it's saying don't spare. Because, of course, you might not want to say something that offends people. No one wants to know how filthy they are. I always laugh whenever I think about this. Is mouth, what is it called again? Oh, it was so funny. And it was such a perfect metaphor for why they hate the UPK. Mask mouth.
Huh?
Right?
Oh, God.
Someone, go look up mask mouth. Mask mouth is a disease, a disorder, where wearing the mask that everyone has been forced to wear since the pandemic causes your breath to stink. It causes, and so people would go to the doctor to say, this mask is making my breath stink. This mask, oh my God, this mask is causing my breath to stink. Until doctors had to tell him, it is not the mask. The mask is not making your breath stink. Mask mouth doesn't exist. It's not a real disorder. It's what doctors began to call it when people kept coming to them saying, this mask is making my breath stink. I don't want to wear it. It's not the mask. Do you understand? No one wants to know how bad they stink. People don't like that. People don't want to put on a mask because if you wear that mask, you are going to know actually how terrible your breath is. And you don't want to know it. You'd rather take the mask off so you can lie to yourself. Well, that is why everyone hates us. That's why they hate us. Because we tell everyone that they're being sluts and whores and sodomites and weak. And anyone who did not fast tonight that was able, you are a coward. Right. And you're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to know that you did not fast on the Day of Atonement because you are weak. And that is fine. So that when you encounter us on the street, just know that you are weak and we are strong. And as long as you accept that, we won't have to have conflict. Everyone understands.
Khan and Khan.
Keep going.
Khan and Khan. In the house of Jacob, their sins.
The house of Jacob, meaning the house of Israel,
God
does not want to know that they're sinning. They don't like to be told that they're wrong. They can't stand it. They want to be soothed. They want a soothsayer. They want a preacher that says, girl, you're beautiful no matter what. God loves you unconditionally. No matter what you do, he loves you. That is why every church, including Islam, teaches that. They all teach it because you can't get members without saying that. Everyone has to be perfect how they are. No one has to be in need of change. No one has to be in need of a revolution of self. No one. Otherwise, people don't come to church. Well, in the UPK, hold your point up. In the UPK, we are commanded to tell people how disgusting they are. We don't have a choice. And if you didn't fast today, you're a coward, man. Right. And if you're some woman out there that didn't fast today, that's why you're overweight. Don't wonder again what it is. That's why, because you got no food discipline. You have no discipline at all. If you're some brother that could not go through 24 hours without food or water, what are you going to do? Be an entrepreneur? Right. You're doing nothing with your life. You couldn't go one day without food and water. And what do you think you're going to go do? Go start your own, give me something. Build your own soul food restaurant? Right. Do you understand the kind of sacrifice you would have to make to be an entrepreneur? Do you know how many hungry and thirsty days you would have to go through to fully achieve a goal in America? Right. Oh my God, you don't have what it takes, Doc. You couldn't fast 24 hours. Do you think that you could not fast 24 hours? Do you think you're going to be a good parent? You're lying to yourself. How in the hell are you going to be a good parent? Do you understand how much sacrifice it would take to be a good parent? It takes sacrifice. Why do you think your mother and father were terrible parents? Because they were not willing to make those sacrifices for you. They didn't want to, leave some man. He's molesting you, yeah. But he is paying the bills around here. He's molesting you, that's true. But hell, he's providing sex for me, and he's giving me money. Your mother couldn't go without the money that your child molester was giving her. She couldn't make the sacrifice. And you think you will, and you couldn't go one day without food and water? You're going to be a terrible parent, just like your mother, just like your father. You're going to be just like them because you're weak. And that's the truth of you. Everybody understands, right? Keep going.
Con 2. Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways.
Here they go, Abadja.
Con, sir.
They don't want to fast.
Right.
But they want God in their life. They want him so much. Jesus, in thy holy name, please, please, Lord Jesus, Lord, oh my Lord. I love him, I love him, I love him, I praise him, I love him. Yet you seek him every day, but you won't fast for him. You won't go a day without food and water. My God, a day? You're eating every goddamn thing in the world every other day. Every possible thing you're shoving into that spam hole in the middle of your head. You can't go one day without food and water. That's it. That's all you got in you. And some of you, my God, you went about 3 hours. My phone started ringing off the hook. 3 hours into this feast. Well, but what if all of the reasons, right? But wait a minute. Hold on. I'm on high blood pressure medication. Hold up. Wait a minute now. I didn't realize that until about 5 hours into the feast. I'm actually on high blood pressure medication. Hold up. Do you know my grandmama died? Hold up now. That makes a man thirsty. Like 5 hours into the feast, all of your reasons for why you can't do the feast, all of that occurs to you. It all pops into your damn brain. Listen, you didn't have to feast if you didn't want to. It's a free country. Do whatever you want to do, but just know that you're not on my level. That you better understand. You're not on my level, and if I say something, you should obey me, and I should never listen to you because you are weak. If you could not do this fast, why are you seeking God? You want something for nothing. I see you. That's what you want. You want God's help. You want his protection. You don't want him to just kill your kids, right? No, he should protect your kids, shouldn't he? Well, does he protect everyone's kids? Kids die all the time. I don't know if you watch the news or grew up in the ghetto. Kids die all the time. You see all these black girls disappearing, getting kidnapped? It's an epidemic of black girls getting kidnapped. Well, I don't want mine kidnapped. I want to keep mine. But why would he let me keep mine if I won't even fast for him? Why would he protect you? He doesn't protect everyone. People die every day, all the time. Black girls getting kidnapped, brother, like it's an epidemic. It's making the news. But you expect your daughter to walk around and come and go and not get kidnapped? Why? Why not yours? Why shouldn't she get kidnapped? Why should God be with you? You think people aren't getting evicted out of their homes? My God, everybody's getting evicted out of their home. Everybody. Why not you? Why should bad things not happen to you? Why? Because you love Jesus? Because you love God? What good is your love to him? Your love is meaningless. Your love isn't worth 24 hours of hunger. That's how meaningless it is. Your love is not worth 24 hours of thirstiness. Your love can do nothing for him because you can't sacrifice. And that is the essence of love, but you don't have it for anyone. You call God's name, you want God's help, but yet you're willing to do nothing for it. Read.
Salakia. Verse 2. Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways.
And they delight to know my ways. Oh my God, you love Bible verses. You love writing Bible verses on Facebook, don't you? Right. You love Proverbs 17, and a good heart is a good mind, and God loveth a good mind. You love to write some Bible verse on Facebook as if you would ever go thirsty for God for an hour. You would never do it. And God is not fooled by you loving the Bible. And that's the word of God. And loving Bible quotes and tote bags with Bible verses on them, and the Psalms, and you're a fake and a phony, and you're not fooling the Lord. He knows tonight that you're a coward. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You were just too weak. God forbid you shouldn't be filled with lust constantly. Keep going.
Verse 2. Isaiah 58:2, middle of the verse. As a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their God.
Meaning you seek the Lord as a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinances of their God. You act like God should help you like as if you deserve it. As if you're someone who God should just help and make sure your kids grow to adulthood. Make sure you don't lose your job. You never deserve to lose your job. You don't believe you should wait in line at Popeyes. You don't believe that you should go through any inconvenience. If you have to wait on hold on the phone, by the time the person comes back, you cursing them the hell out. Because you don't believe that you should suffer any inconvenience in any way. You act as if you're a people that didn't totally reject God's law.
Right.
You act like that, but you're not that type of person. Keep going.
And forsook not the ordinance of their power. They ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to the power.
They ask of me the ordinances of justice. Keep going. Abadja, go ahead and read. Go ask your question.
No, ordinances of justice. Justice for Trayvon Martin. That's what he means.
That's how they behave. As if they want justice. Like you would assume that they love righteousness and justice, right? Until it comes time to make a sacrifice. Until it comes time to forego 3 meals and some water. That's it. That's all this was. This was one day. And for you drug addict brothers out there, you are going to snitch. I'm telling you, if you could not fast today, brother, when you get locked in that jail, not only is there no weed and no pills, but there ain't no food either. My God, that little egg sandwich they're going to hand you out, I made pillows out of them. All them nasty egg sandwiches, them little cups. Nobody eating that filth. You're going to get handed that nasty egg sandwich, and you know a prisoner made that, so you know what's in it. It ain't much egg in that egg sandwich. Do I got to keep going? A prisoner made it. And that is your food in jail. Now, you are going to snitch. And this is why you snitch on each other, because you can sell drugs and murder and dance and party, but you can't get locked up for your friend. Right. You cannot do that. You do not have it in you to go sit in a jail cell for what? I mean, when will you start snitching? A couple of hours, I think, into the thing. First 48, right?
In the room.
48. Before 48 hours go by, when you sitting in that room and you ain't even, when they tell you we're going to send you over to central booking, when you hear about that, you're going to start snitching because you know that you're not going to have enough food, enough water, and not enough drugs over there. Hold your point. God. You're going to snitch on your friends. Why? Because you can't make a sacrifice for your friends. You can't make a sacrifice for your gang. You cannot do it because you're weak. God. Keep going.
Behold, ye fight for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness.
Read it one more time.
For, behold, ye fight for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness.
Behold, you fast for strife and debate. Come on. Read let a bun take it. Go ahead, Al. The one, please.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 3. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not?
I'm sorry, read it one more time.
Come. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not?
Wherefore have we fasted and thou seest not? Meaning, when have we fasted and you have not seen it? Meaning the Most High. Keep going.
Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge?
What is that? Who can understand that? Why did we fast? Wherefore is why. Why did we fast and you don't see it?
Right.
Why did we afflict our souls and you didn't acknowledge it? Meaning, they're going to the Most High and saying, so what did we fast for? Why did we fast? You didn't notice it. Why did we go through this sacrifice? You didn't see it. That's the translation in today's language, all right? Keep going, a bun.
So like you. Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure.
This is why. God is not ignoring your fasting. You're not fasting. Right. That's the point. It's not like that is so how our people behave, because that is so how our oppressor behaves. Our oppressor fakes as if he loves God. He puts, in God we trust on every dollar bill. He acts as if he loves God. He has churches everywhere and talks about God and prays before every sporting event. You would think he loves God. And so he'll look at the Most High and go, well, what am I doing all of this for? And you're not even helping me. You're not doing it. That's the point. You are not keeping the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is a law forever. You're not keeping it for the same reason that you eat pork and shrimp and are a whore or a homosexual. You cannot fight your own urges. You have urges in yourself that you have no ability to fight. The minute you want to do something, you are a slave to it. You are, who can read my mind? You are, that's correct, give him a hand, that's true. That's not what I was going to say, but that's still good. You are possessed by it. Do you understand? You're possessed by your urges. If you ever wondered what demonic possession is, that's what it is. And that's why it's called possession, because that demon owns you. You're his. So even though you would like to do something, you would like to change, but you just can't because you just want drugs so bad. And you just need a cigarette so bad. But I don't want to smoke, but I need a cigarette so bad. I don't want to sleep with whores, but I just really need to be with one. You are possessed by someone else. And your inability to fight that possession is the same reason you didn't celebrate the feast of the Day of Atonement. All right? Keep going.
Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors.
That's what you did. You go out and make money and do whatever you want to do. You exact all of your pleasure. You eat and drink and make cash on the Day of Atonement because you're full of lust and you're an evil, sinful bastard. And don't ever ask God for anything. If you didn't suffer today, then just shut your mouth to God. Don't ask him for anything. Don't say, God, can you give me this? God, can you help my child? Blah, 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 blah. Why? Why would I help your child? For what? I asked you for 24 hours of not shoving everything you want into that lying hole in the middle of your head. And you could not do it even for 24 hours. So don't ask me for anything. Just shut your mouth. Take whatever you get. Keep going.
Verse 4. Behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness.
Ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with this fist of wickedness. I'm going to explain this in 5 seconds. Read the next verse, a little bit of it at least.
You want me to finish this verse too,
Yes.
sir? Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high.
Who can explain this verse? Give it a shot. Levi.
If I may add one, this is this run parallels with what Christ says in Matthew 6 and 16, when you fast, don't be like the hypocrites, because this is exactly what hypocrites do. They want you to see them fasting so they could say, oh, look at him, he's a man of God. They're a woman of God. They fasting.
And here's the biggest thing about this fast. That's exactly what Christ was talking about. During a fast, 2,000 years ago, the Sadducee and Pharisee on the Day of Atonement would go out with ripped clothing and with dirt on their face and just face the east and pray in the marketplace because they were so hungry. Oh, look at me, I'm fasted, I'm in pain, and my lips are chapped, and I'm just hurting. And then go home, and they were not fasting. You understand? They were lying. They were acting as if they were in a fast just so they could beat someone else and say, why aren't you fasting? Just so they could have strife and pretend that they were men of God and beat the poor people when the poor people were not fasting. But they themselves wouldn't fast at all. Weren't fasting then because they can't go without their own pleasure. And if there's a thing that is going to kill you, it is the fact that you cannot resist yourself. That is what is going to get you up. If there is a thing that is going to get you, if there is a lion that is lurking to kill you, it is your inability to deny yourself what you want. If you cannot do that, you're going to die. It is going to happen. It is inevitable. It is something that is already set in the future, because you are a person that if you feel an urge, regardless of the danger, you can't resist, which means your life is going to be terrible, and then you're going to die. Keep going. Any questions in the room I'm missing? We'll try to go through all of the Day of Atonement precepts and break it down to you. For those of you who in here, was it your first Day of Atonement? Raise your hand. Y'all seasoned veterans. Let me see the brother over here. Give him a hand. Hardcore. How did the first sip of water taste? Great. I'll give him a hand. No, it was something. I missed that. I missed that first one. Like, man. Go ahead. I'm going to go into people that are ill in a second. I'll do that. That's you want to do. We'll go into that later. Some people don't do it and shouldn't. Some people can. There are some illnesses where you can do it. Some illnesses that you should not fast. All right. I'll go through a few of them, but that's something that you're going to need specific personal counsel on about your situation. All right. Just remind me in a second, and I'll go over it. All right. But you did the fast today. Give him a hand. Congratulations. And you did it with the illness. Yes. What's the illness? Dialysis. Give him a hand. You did that thing. On kidney dialysis. Now look at yourself. Right. Now look at you. This brother did a fast on kidney dialysis. You didn't fast because of what? Because you felt weak? You felt lightheaded. Is that the one? That's the one I always hear. I feel lightheaded. Well, you're hungry. You never felt that before, have you? That's hunger. That's what a lot of the earth is feeling right now, all the time. Right. A lot of brothers in Brazil, they're just feeling hunger. It's not a Day of Atonement. It's just Tuesday. Right. And they're hungry in Brazil. Hungry all the time. Feeling that same lightheadedness. In Haiti, oh my God, there's a Day of Atonement 30 days in Haiti. They're just hungry all the time. Thirsty all the time. You live in America, and you couldn't go through it for 24 hours. This brother did it on kidney dialysis. Now, when you meet him, just know he is strong and you are weak. And as long as you do that, we won't have to have conflict. Keep going.
We're at the book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 5. Is it such a fast that I have chosen? A day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him?
That's exactly what Levi just said and pulled a perfect precept. The Lord did not choose this fast for you to look like a broken man, for you to be all broken down. What's the word again? Like a, you ready to read it?
Bulrush.
Bulrush. I forget what that is.
It's like it's damn near like a reed or a thin, thin branch.
Like branches falling down, like in the wind. Right. So now you are just falling over, like a flower that got broken in a storm. because you're in a fast. That's not why he gave you this fast, Doc, for you to look weak. Don't look weak in a fast. Look strong. Look like this is a small thing my God has required of me. This is nothing compared to what I have asked of him. I'm asking him to save the lives of my children. I'm asking him to save the lives of my wives. I'm asking him to protect me and save the lives of the people that I love. And I'm asking him to give the Israelite school of UPK absolute dominance on the planet Earth. I want that of him. All he wants from me is 24 hours. I can stand strong in it, and you won't even be able to tell I'm not eating or not drinking, because I'm asking for so much, and he's asking for so little. He's not asking this fast for you to be all broken and sad, as if, as if you've not eaten for a week, as if you're on a goddamn hunger strike. That's not the point of the fast. This should be nothing compared to what you are asking him. This should be nothing. Keep going.
Wilt thou call this a feast, an acceptable day to the Lord? Verse 6, is not this the feast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness?
To do what?
Loose the bands of wickedness.
To do what?
Loose the bands of wickedness.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to teach you this the easiest way for you to understand. Not the hard way, because there's another way I can teach you this. But I won't teach you that way now. But this is what you have to understand. Every problem in your life that you cause is caused because you don't have self-discipline. You don't have it. And it is the reason for everything. And fasting is so important, and the Day of Atonement is so important, even after Yahushua Christ came and died for all of our sins. For the same reason that for thousands of years we were doing it, and sacrificing lambs, and sacrificing bullets for our sins. The Day of Atonement doesn't erase sins, but it teaches you how not to sin. You're learning something today. You learned a lesson. That lesson gets you off of drugs. That lesson gets you off of prostitutes. That lesson gets you women off of Facebook murmuring and being sluts on Facebook. If you sisters who claim that you need attention so much from your husband, and because your husband doesn't give you attention, you of course make fake sites on Facebook and flirt with your ex-boyfriends, flirt with men in the world. Why? Because you need attention. Well, if you fasted today, clearly you are able to do something that you don't want to do. Clearly you're able to reach into your soul and fight a thing, even if the thing is a necessity in life. And water and food are absolute necessities. You fought it. So can't you fight your Facebook addiction? Can't you fight, you sisters, you got to go through your husband's phone, right? Can't fight that. It's sitting right there. Some of you brothers, when the chariots come, if your wife gets left behind and you get on the chariots, if you left your phone, you'll just reach right down there and get it from her. You know she's going to go through it before judgment, before she burns. You'll jump off the chariot, jump down and grab your phone and take it onto the ship. Some of you sisters, I know it's hard for you not to go through your husband's phone. It's powerful. It's like a treasure chest of secrets, that phone. It's telling you all mysteries. I know it is. If you fasted tonight, if you went on a fast, that feeling you felt when you wanted to drink and eat, you're watching TV commercials about Pizza Hut, and you did not eat, you didn't drink. That is the engine that you could use not to go through your husband's phone. It's the same muscle. It's the same thing. It's just wanting to do something and not doing it, even though you want to do it. It is how you take back possession of your soul from Satan. And fasting is such an excellent way to train yourself not to do things that you want to do. You make a conscious decision. Last night, Wednesday night, you decided, I'm not eating for 24 hours and I'm not drinking. You just made a decision. And then sundown came and you stuck to that decision. Don't you see how valuable that is going to be in other areas? My God, that's going to get you through college. That is going to get you a college degree, because you are going to want, because once you sign up for college and now you're enrolled, guess what happens? Life happens.
Right.
Parties, drugs, boys, girls, distractions. But I signed up for college, and I have decided to graduate college, and I will not be deterred. What you have learned last night, you could take and rule the world. You could do anything. You could take that same, well, I decided something at this time, and here's when I'm going to stop. I started now, and I'm stopping now. You could do that with a cigarette addiction, with drug addiction, with starting your own business, with graduating college, with getting promoted on your slavery. You could take this and use it to fuel success, to fuel righteousness, if you want to. If about 5 hours into it, you said, I feel lightheaded. And well, I don't know what you got. You having your camp leader call me. I'm always going to tell him one thing: starve. That's it. This is the Day of Atonement. I'm not getting you out of it. I'm not going to tell you to break the Day of Atonement. That's not my job. You're keeping the Day of Atonement. If whatever you have to go through, do it. Do it. If you and some brothers, you might be playing football or sports. Listen, if you went to football practice yesterday, you're not drinking any water at football practice. Now, you can stay home from football practice. You can, say, I'm not practicing today for religious reasons. That's up to you. But you're not drinking water, and you're not eating. That's it. I don't know what you're going through. This brother is on dialysis. Do you think I'll let you sit next to him when you ate and drank because you felt lightheaded? Nah. Faint. That's all. Just faint out in the floor. You might faint. Why? Because you've never, ever went without doing what you wanted. So it might shock your system, right? But you might also be able to not go through your husband's phone. You might be able to show up to work on time. You might be able to go pay your bills on time. You might be able to actually make it to your children's functions and help them with their homework. You stupid bitches, you couldn't even, the kids got sent home for a year. And now you had to help the child with their homework. You couldn't even do it. You couldn't even do it. The child is sitting home with you. This is the great burden you had to suffer. Helping your own damn child with homework. You know what you said? This is ridiculous, teacher. I can't be doing this. You sending emails to the bitch all the time. I can't do this. I can't help this child. I can't do anything other than get high and chase penis all throughout the internet. I can't help my child with homework. You can't do anything you don't want to do. Take what you did last night, if you did it, and use it. Use it. Come on, if you don't mind, warrior. Where'd you get those perfect ice cubes from? Go ahead. If you don't mind, I appreciate it. Throw out a warrior. Go ahead. Go ahead, please, Abun.
Gun on one con. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 6. Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness.
That's the point now. Where are the bands of wickedness? Who knows? Abun.
It's damn near like, it's like it would be synonymous with like vices, right? Something
what is a band? What is a band?
Like a handcuff, something that's holding you.
A handcuff is a band, right? Handcuffs would be bands. Now, what are bands of wickedness?
It will be, like I said, it will be vices. It will be something that you're doing that you can't control.
Well, first, give me the metaphor. The metaphor is handcuffs. That's physical bands, right? So what is a band of wickedness?
Being handcuffed or tied down by wickedness or evil.
Give him a hand. That's it. So now, that's right. So now the same way someone is locked up by a warden, they're locked up and they're not free. You are locked up by marijuana. Marijuana has you locked up. A lot of you brothers, sluts. You can't resist sluts. Sluts are just, you had sex when you were about 11 years old, and you don't know that you're a molested child. Someone molested you. And if a woman molested you, forget about it. You really think you're just a ladies' man when you're not. There is a band of wickedness on you. and you're trapped and you can't resist whores. You have no ability to do it. You're tied up by them. Well, how do you resist whores? Fasting is how you resist whores. It's the same engine. You wanted to eat, didn't you? You wanted to drink. I don't care how strong you are. There was some time during the Day of Atonement when you wanted to drink, when you wanted to eat. Well, if you didn't eat and you didn't drink, that's how you break the band of whore addiction, of having a whore addiction throughout a warrior, or a cigarette addiction, or there's so many things. What if you're in college or in high school and you can't study? It's difficult for you to study. You're in high school and you know you need to study. School, I meant to say this. Say the water to all the parents that got those kids back in school recently, man. Give yourselves a hand, man. A lot of you parents out there, you muscle down, man. You got them kids back in school, paid that money, bought them goddamn uniforms and bought all of that garbage. And some brother out, he had to buy a $100 calculator. And I said, what in the hell are you calculating with that? $100. And the school just tells you that you just got to have it. That's it. Right. You know, it's no negotiation. It's just, it's $100. Have one by tomorrow. Right. Levi.
If I may, sir, I got one water. My son's high school told me the same thing. Now the principal say we could get it from Amazon for $100-something, or we could get it from her for $50. So I told my son, tell her give you the model. She would not give the model. She would not give the model number.
That's a straight up shakedown now. Right. That's a New York shakedown. Right. Oh my God. Listen, you parents out there, I don't got to tell you, to get those kids back in school, it took sacrifice. Your whole schedule, you got to switch your schedule. You got to have them there and do this and pick them up at that time. And it was so much trouble, man. I saw you, brothers and sisters. I saw you make sacrifice for your children. Those of you who are good parents, some of you are like alley cats trying to raise a child. Some of you are terrible parents. And those of you who are, I've told you already that you are to your face. But the other ones of you, you got there and you got down. You went in there and bought that damn calculator, bought it, did what you had to do, shuffled around your whole work schedule, did all of this and all of that, all so that child can have a better chance at success in life. And you deserve to be praised. Give yourself a hand. That's One West. We don't need dummies in the UPK. In the UPK, we expect your children to excel and bring us glory and honor. And we expect on graduation day for them to go up on that goddamn podium and thank Commanding General YAHANNA. Everyone understands? That's your obligation and burden. And you can't thank Commanding General YAHANNA if you're a goddamn dropout. Right. You bring us no glory, no honor at all from sitting home smoking weed, getting high, saying that's the white man's high school. that doesn't bring us honor and glory. Everybody understands, I pray. Oh God, well, what did the parents do that went through all of that trouble to get their children back in school after the pandemic and to get them all together? It took sacrifice, man. It takes sacrifice. And everything in life takes sacrifice. The Day of Atonement is where you learn how to make the kind of sacrifices necessary to defeat wickedness. Keep going.
To undo the heavy burdens.
To undo the heavy burden. The drug addiction is a heavy burden. How much are those cigarettes? Raise your hand if you bought cigarettes today. How much are they? You don't know? I thought I could catch a couple of you. Listen, I think they're $20 or something. Google that on there. See how much that pack of cigarettes costs. An addiction is a heavy burden, man. That's a heavy burden. That smoking that weed is expensive from that dispensary. It is expensive. Forget about the toll it takes on your life to have an addiction that you have to have every morning. Shalom, boy. Through water, brother. You got to have every morning, every night. You got to just have it so much all the time. It's a terrible addiction. Go ahead.
12 in New York, 1150 in Illinois, $9.95 in Massachusetts.
That's enough. $12, that thing. I remember that thing used to be $3. I think $2.50. The last time I remember. It was $2.50 back in the day for a pack of cigarettes. Now it's $12, and you're smoking a pack a day. Go ahead.
I heard, of course, people in the world that it's multi-packs a day, some people.
Oh.
So that's $30 a day,
Oh.
you know, by 7. That's $200, $800, $1,000 a month.
God damn. Brother, that's a heavy burden now. Like, you don't want to be free from that? Don't you want the money back that you spend on cigarettes and marijuana and sluts and whores? And forget about the cost it has on your life in 1,000 other ways. Forget about the child support. That's going to teach you a good lesson about sluts. That child support is going to teach you a lesson that can only be taught by Satan. And then you'll have a child that you look at every day, and this child is the worst thing that ever happened to you. And that's sad. That's sad, because in essence, you would love the child because it's a baby and it's your child. But because of this child, you're going to jail once a year or every 6 months. Because of this child, you take home, you work all day, 40 hours a week, and you take home $200, right? And so you want to love the kid. You want to be with the kid. But this child is the worst thing that ever happened to you. And you're going to think about it, and you're going to try not to. But you're going to think about it. That's the kind of lesson that a whore teaches you of. Forget about prison. Forget about the fact that her, you know, all of the baby's father's fights you're going to get in. Jesus Christ. You and this baby's father, you're joined to him. You and him are just together, blood enemies forever. You're going to just be fighting with him, fighting constantly with him. You're going to think to yourself, I should have chosen more wisely. I should have waited. I should have kept the 1-year rule. I should have married a better sister. I should have done better. You're going to wish you had discipline in that day. Keep going.
And to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke.
Don't you want to let the oppressed go free? If you want the white man to get off of your neck, you're going to have to learn to fight your inner demons. You're going to have to learn self-discipline. You're going to have to keep fast. If you cannot fast, then you cannot expect the white man and his oppression to leave. It is always going to be on your neck because you don't have the self-discipline to govern yourself. If the white man is not here with his police officers and his courts, who will stop you from killing each other? You will have to stop yourself. But you can't stop yourself. You don't have any ability to stop yourself. So we need cops. We need the courts. We need them because otherwise I'd have to depend on you not to rape. Right. I'd have to depend on you not molesting a child. I'd have to depend on you not stealing and not being corrupt. But I can't depend on you to do that because you couldn't even go without food 24 hours. Right. We might need cops. We might need judges, and we might need the devil to do the job that you will not do to yourself. Keep going. Let me know when I'm finished the brother's question, all right?
Was it on verse 6?
7.
So, we're the book of Isaiah, chapter 58.
I don't know if this scotch is good or just after the feast. I don't know which one it is. Which scotch is, what's this here? That means it's good. That means it's good. Go ahead.
We're the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, and verse 7. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house?
That's why he gave you the Day of Atonement. So that you could feed the hungry. Do you understand? By going without food and water, you're going to have more food to feed the poor. You're going to have more because you were willing to go with less. You're going to have more. So now, because your greed has been stopped, now there's food for the poor. Now people can get fed. Shout out to the New York food program. Who ran that down in New York? Captain Shamal Waller. Who else? Levi, give him a hand out. Captain Shamal Waller and his men out, they did an amazing job with that food program in New York. Got a truckload of food, a truckload to feed the poor. And all of those poor people that now will eat because of the hard work that Captain Shamal Waller did, remember this, that we do not eat on the Day of Atonement. And that's why the Most High blesses us with food to feed the poor, because we will go without food. We will go without water. We will suffer, and because we're willing to suffer, the Most High puts us in a situation to stop the suffering of others. I pray you understand. Keep going.
When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh.
Oh my God, your own flesh, meaning your own people, your own brother who are your brothers who are naked. Are you going to see them and ignore them? Also, you can feed yourself and not keep the feast? If you didn't keep the Day of Atonement, you're weak, Akin. It's a sad, sore thing to keep for a year. It's sad, and you're going to think about it, and it's rough on you, but you should go through roughness because you're a coward. So you should go through that. You should suffer and go through pain. All right. I think did I break it down for him? Is that it?
I believe so, concept.
Solid. Any questions in the room? In the back.
It's lucky, sir. I know, where things like we don't wear the Christian cross, and that wears and conscious community wears. Now, what about things like sneakers, like I know the Nike symbol of victory and all that? Is that in the same boat?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. More.
Like we don't wear crosses, right? The Christian cross. We don't wear the Ankh and all that. Now, what about things that are on clothing, like Nike symbols, and is that the same boat or?
It's not the same thing because it's not considered a religious symbol.
I got you.
So the reason that we of course would not wear a cross, because a cross is a religious symbol, and the people that wear them, everyone knows that they're wearing them to indicate that they're Christians, right? So you should never wear a cross for that reason, because you're not a Christian. You're not the people that killed Christ. You're the people that are living your life in the manner of Christ. Now, a Nike symbol on your shoe, that isn't considered a religious symbol, although it is an ancient Greek god, but it's not on the shoe because it's an ancient Greek god. It's about shoes. So it's no sin to wear it now. Can you wear it to camp? No. You cannot wear a Nike symbol to camp. You cannot do things like that when you're in camp. If you're out jogging or in the gym and you want to wear some sneakers, you're fine. You can do it. No one will think you worship Nike if you have those sneakers on. It won't confuse anyone to think you're a Greek worshiper of Nike. You get my point. Come on.
Salaki, I just wanted to clarify in the same vein, true religion would be considered as well, because technically they do use the fat image of Buddha.
I don't even know what that is.
True religion is a brand of jeans and shirts. It's high end.
Okay, I don't know what it is. Okay, is there some symbol of Buddha is on the jeans?
Usually the stitching thing that lets you know this is like Levi or Wranglers.
Okay. I would assume that when people wear the jeans, they don't believe you're a Buddhist because you have on these jeans. Or is that the case? Then it would be the same thing.
Yeah, it's basically one.
Now, why would you wear jeans with Buddha on them? That's up to y'all young brothers. Right. I don't know anything about that, but I'm only talking about what is a sin and what is not. All right? If it's not a symbol that indicates to other people that you are a follower or a practitioner of that religion, then it's fine to wear. All right? Like the Nike symbol, which is a symbol of a Greek god, or what's that Adidas symbol? I don't think that's anything. I don't know what the hell true religion is, but it might be other things, all right?
Salaki, I got an update from Yaraj.
Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, this was the part of the verse I had question on. When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh.
The whole, you're fasting so that you can do those things. You're fasting so that when you see the naked, you can cover them, so that you can feed the poor, so you can lift depression off your neck. The fasting is what you are going to use to free yourself from all of the other evils of life, which is what I just broke down all that time, right? Everything. If you want to feed the poor, you got to be able to fight yourself. If you want to get our oppressor off of our necks, you have to fight yourself. If you want to clothe the naked, you have to fight yourself. It is the engine to everything you want to do. And without it, you can't do anything. You cannot stamp out poverty if you can't fight your own lust. You can't do it. Countries try. They're trying right now in Haiti. You might want to help the Haitian people, right? You might say, oh, Haiti needs our help. They had the earthquake. They had this famine. Oh, my God. Go give your money to Haiti. What happens to the money in Haiti? If you donate money to Haiti.com. What happens, Levi, to that money?
That money get eaten by the corrupt government, sir.
The people who have no control over their flesh take your money and buy boats and cars with it because they can't fight themselves. So although they're the president and the Congress of Haiti, they can't fight that urge to have a new house, to get a new beach home, even though their own flesh is poor, like we just read. But to give that money to the poor, they would have to say, I'm not buying a Rolls Royce. I'm not going to go to France and sleep with white women. But they have to go to France and sleep with white women, so the poor can't get that money. But if the leaders of Haiti had the ability to suffer for their own flesh, they could take that money and dispense it to the poor. But that would mean they'd have to have the ability to go hungry and go thirsty, and they do not. Do you understand now? It's the engine for everything. There is nothing in life that can be accomplished if you can't go without getting what you want. Then you're going to be a failure at whatever you want to do. These particular things are very important things. Feeding the poor, clothing the naked, ending oppression, breaking the bands of wickedness. You can't do that if you can't resist yourself. Then you can't do those things. That's the reason for the Day of Atonement. That's why we still celebrate it. That's why they celebrated it, even though they gave lambs for their sins. People think the Day of Atonement means that you suffer and now your sins are done away with because of this suffering. That is not what the Day of Atonement is about. Even before Christ, you had to make an animal sacrifice for your sins. The Day of Atonement teaches you the necessary inner strength that you must have to keep the commandments of God. Without that inner strength, you can't keep them because you're weak. Everybody, I got to move on from this topic.
John, so the brother said the water, and I just wanted to say that goes greatly with a brother like Umar Johnson and all these other cats would be like, give me your money, I'll help you, and then, yeah, I don't know what happened to the school. Give me another $1 million so I can, like...
It goes greatly with Martin Luther King,
John,
who could not resist his lust for white women and orgies to actually be a man of God. And so he was going to resign from his office before he got killed. That night he made that speech, though I may not make it there with you.
Right, yeah.
Soon we'll make it to the mountaintop.
Right.
It's because he was going to resign because J. Edgar Hoover had an audio tape of him having sex with white whores at the Watergate Hotel. And he was told, if you don't resign, I'm going to release this tape. You can Google this. And so he went and said, though I may not make it there with you, we still going to make it to the mountaintop. Not because he foresaw his death. He didn't.
Right.
He knew he was resigning so that tape didn't get released. It's true for Malcolm X.
Right.
Malcolm X had a lust for what? Power. Malcolm X could not resist striving for power over Elijah Muhammad because he found out Elijah Muhammad was having sex with young children. And so he wanted to be in charge of the Nation of Islam. And so he tried to convince Louis Farrakhan to come against Elijah Muhammad for Elijah Muhammad's sexual proclivities. Louis Farrakhan did not betray Elijah Muhammad, but told Elijah Muhammad about Farrakhan's betrayal, and then Malcolm X's betrayal, and then Malcolm X had to leave. Elijah Muhammad could not run his organization because he had to have sex with little children, with 14 and 13-year-old girls. So his desire to have sex with 13-year-old girls overwhelmed him and caused Malcolm X to have reason to come against him. It is the reason for everything. Look at your government, look at every corrupt government, every third world nation. Look at Puerto Rico, look at America, look at any place where you depend on someone to forget about themselves to help someone else. They cannot forget about themselves because of their stomach. They can't forget about someone else because they need sex, they need food, they need water. It is the engine for everything. Learning to fight yourself is the only way you can achieve anything. And without it, there is nothing that can be achieved. I pray you understand. Next.
Online, or you want the room? Online. Con, sir. Next is Kaisha Marie. Can I get a breakdown on 1 Corinthians 11, 8 to 12? I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to say. 11, 8 to 12.
Bye.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
He wants a breakdown on this.
She does.
She did. Read a verse above it.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God. But the woman is the glory of the man.
Maybe I need one more verse.
Verse 6. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered.
Let me get one more precept. Hold on 1 second.
Did you want verse 5, sir? 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
Everyone knows about that, right? This is why, or another scripture proving that a woman must cover her head when she prays or prophesies, which is why sisters cover their head in the UPK. This is one of the bedrock precepts that explains it. Read it one more time.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
Every woman that prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. Who is a woman's head? A man. Right? If you're married, you dishonor your husband when you pray or prophesy with your head uncovered. If you are unmarried, you dishonor your father. Any woman that is praying with nothing on her head or prophesying, saying something that God has told her to say, like reading the Bible or saying something, for God. If she doesn't cover her head, she is dishonoring her head. Everybody understand? It's making the direct metaphor between the head right here and the head that is the head of the department, the head of security, the head of state. The term head means boss. So you cover your head to honor your boss. You cover your head to honor your head. Everyone understand? Go ahead.
For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
For it is even all one as if she were shaven. Meaning, a woman praying or prophesying, not having her head covered, is the same as if she was bald-headed. Meaning having a shaved head. Now, just like 2,000 years ago, just like today, a woman did not want to be a bald-headed woman. That's something that was always a shame to a woman, because we're speaking about black and Hispanic women. And they are very feminine, black and Hispanic women. They're the most feminine women on the planet Earth. And so because of that, they don't want to be no bald-headed scallywag. They don't want to have a shaved bald head. That's ridiculous. They'll go out and spend $1,000 just to not be bald-headed. And I don't blame you. Why? You should. Well, you spend that money to look like you got some damn hair. Why not? You're a woman. Nobody is blaming you for wanting to look like a woman. Well, if you don't cover your head when you pray, you might as well be a bald-headed scallywag. Because it's all in one. It's the same. Read that term again.
For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
It's the same. It's just like having a shaved head. Being some hoe that does not cover her head when she prays. Like the hoes in the Christian church. Like Juanita Bynum. Like all of the other church hoes that sit, at least the old heads, at least they wear the big hats. The grandmamas got enough good sense to wear a giant 10-gallon hat up in there. But the young girls go in there with nothing on their head. Hold your point 1 second. But the young girls go in there with nothing on their head because they have no head and don't want to respect a head. You understand that? Keep going.
Kind. Verse 6. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn.
What does it mean to be shorn? That's like a sheep. You ever see a sheep? You can look it up. They get and shorn a sheep once a year in the springtime. They take all the wool off of it and make it naked Well, your head is naked if you don't cover your head. You're a bald-headed scallywag. It's the same thing. You don't want to have a bald head. Now, do some women like a bald head? Yes, they do. Those are the especially crazy ones. If I was you, I'd be careful with that. Because any woman that just is like, no, I'm fine, I'll leave here. Listen, you taking on the rough one there. Any woman that doesn't even feel like she needs a wig or a weave, brother, Lord be with you. All right, but for the majority of women, they know they want some hair and they should want some hair. All right? And so, but if you don't cover your head, it's the same as being shaved or shorn. Go ahead, next.
But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven,
But if it is a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, if it is not a good thing to be bald-headed, if you consider it bad to have a shaved bald head and be a woman at the same time, keep going.
let her be covered.
Then you should cover your head. Right? Just consider it. God gave you a covering of hair, and He wants to see you cover up your hair. Now, if you don't want any hair, then leave that head uncovered. You'll be a bald-headed scallywag eagle. Bald as you could be, like Curly from the Three Stooges. Walking around acting like you're conscious. Indians shave their head and act like they're more Afrocentric. You're bald. How in the hell is bald Afrocentric? Every bald, I guess Curly was an African, really African warrior. Or Shaquille O'Neal or Michael Jordan, they must be extremely Africanized. Being bald-headed, it just means you're bald-headed. It doesn't mean you're more conscious or you know more about Africa or consciousness or angst. You're just bald-headed. And if you agree that being bald-headed and you're a woman is not good, then you should cover your head when you pray or prophesy. That's the point. I just broke it down for you. There's really nothing else you can get from that but what I said. Go ahead, Benjamin.
So if I may, right, on that, right, on verse 15, right, I was trying to get the proper breakdown of when they say that the hair is a covering, right? Because I seen sisters, you know what I mean, get this a little mixed up sometimes.
Right.
I mean, so the hair is a covering is not to say this is what you cover your head with when you're praying.
You
Right.
mean your hair?
Yeah.
Okay, it's telling you, if you don't like being bald, then you should cover your hair. But uncovering your hair is the same as being bald. It's making this whole precept, let me do it quickly for you, all right? Men have male pattern baldness, right? Men go bald around here, about 1 out of every 2 men. Go bald at the crown of their head, right? Women don't have male pattern baldness. Any woman, some of you women out there, your hair isn't growing for you. Your front edges are all messed up. You got bad problems with your hair. That hair can grow back. There is no such thing as female pattern baldness. Anything that's wrong with your hair can be fixed. It can grow. You can buy something, change something, mainly shutting your goddamn mouth once or twice a day and being a better person. But your hair can grow back if you're a woman. If you're a man, that hair cannot grow back. That's it. If you're fooled by some nut, then that's on you. I was fooled a few times. I'll confess it. I went down there. They shot lasers all under my head one day in Maryland. I drove out to Maryland. Them niggas set me in a chair. Shot blue lasers all in my head. Did my ribs tell me not to go? They said not to go. I give it to them. Give them my hand. They said I shouldn't go down there. But listen, I like rocking braids, Doc. I love braids. Beards, boots, and braids. And I was going to pay $5,000 to let them shoot these lasers into my head. And I sat in that chair, and they shooting them lasers, and I feel nothing. And I said, I think I might be done. I remember thinking like, they want 5. I was down there, I'm going to give you 5 G's. I said, you know what? I think this looks ridiculous, and I think I'm an idiot. And I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you very much. And I went here and left. There ain't no cure for it. You can shop around. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. All right, there is no cure for male pattern baldness. Sometimes you can take it and take the hair from the front, put it on the back of your head. That rarely ever works too. It just doesn't exist. All right? Now, but a woman, that thing can grow. You can change yourself, get right, and that hair can grow back. Now, the same way a woman wants her hair and expects her hair, she should cover her head with that much diligence. And the same way the Lord takes away a man's hair, he should uncover it. Nature is telling you what God wants. It's like it's a metaphor. Nature is telling you he wants her covered. Nature is telling you he wants you uncovered. You get my point. So I'm assuming you're thinking that women think their hair is their covering.
Sometimes a sister would say she don't have a covering, so what she do is she put the hairstyle like up in a bunch on top of her head and said her hair is covered.
That's some woman who doesn't want to respect a man. Because I've never even heard no silly shit. No, it's nothing silly like that before in my life. That's just a way to disrespect a man. Because if she's willing to go to a hair salon and fashion her hair into a pyramid on the top of her hair, she can't throw a scarf on her head. She just doesn't want to respect you. I'm just telling you out of love. That's all that is. That's just, I fashioned my hair into a pyramid to sit right here. It took me 8 hours. I went and had him do it right here. No, sis, just throw this on your head. No, I fashioned my hair into a hair pyramid. Sis, just drop this on there. It costs nothing. I fashioned my hair into a hair. Bitch, get out. You understand? You're going to cover your head in the UPK. I don't care what you done fashioned up there like a spaceship set in a chair for 12 hours. I don't care what weave you got on there or what wig you got on. That ain't a covering. You're going to look like a woman that is in subjection to a man. You understand? I want to look at you and go, oh, she shuts her mouth. She's in order. I want to visually look at it. Why? Because the angels are visually looking at it. That's what we're about to read. An angel is looking to see if she has her eyes averted to the ground in subjection to a masculine energy. He wants to know. And he can't tell that from how your wig is shaped. So you want to show him that you're under a man. Unless you don't want a man. Unless you just want to be a bald-headed scallywag. Then shave your head bald and be conscious. Be in the conscious community. They'll accept you, but not in here. Keep reading. I'm going to read it right now.
Come. 1 Corinthians.
One more time, please,
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
And this is the most important part. Because the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. Meaning what? A woman, I am not here because of her, but she is here because of me. You understand? She is under me. I am not under her. What does it mean to be of a place? You can be of New York, or of America, or of any organization. It means that I serve it. Do you understand? Christ said, be ye in the world, but not of the world. Meaning when you're of the world, you obey the world. You do the things that people in the world do. Well, that woman does what you do, does what you say. She is of you. But you don't do what she tells you. You're not of her. You get my point? So you're not to cover your head, and that's why it's extremely gay that so-called Jewish people and fake Israelites cover their heads. That is effeminate, man. To put some old Jewish sheet on your head with fringes on it and sit there like you're a little girl, all humble, all subdued. The Lord wants you to be a raging animal. That's what he wants. He wants you to be in authority and to rule, not to uncover your head. A woman, and just think of the whole metaphor, right? Think of the spirit of the whole damn thing. What is a woman doing when she covers her head? She is hiding herself. Hiding. She's on purpose saying, I'm not up here like this. I got a man, I got a father. I'm hiding myself. Right? The Lord says you are not to be hiding yourself. You got to uncover your head. You got to step up, pick your damn head up, and be seen. Because you don't do what she tells you to do. She tells you, tell her what to do. Which is the point of this entire precept. Read it one more time. I appreciate it.
1 Corinthians 11:8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman.
On that, so it was heavy in the spirit too, because Martin Luther King was doing the same thing, where he had to hide like a woman would, because the FBI gave him a call. You know what I mean?
Forget about it. Damn all that. Shout out to his brother out of Minnesota. FBI came over to his house, trying to scare him. He called the FBI agents. They having hell down there. I talked to the cat. They having some problem with gangs down there and the Black Panthers, and they expect us to come fix their problems. That's not our problem, y'all down there with them gangs. They want us to go and do something with the gangs and the Black Panthers. We don't associate or affiliate with them. That's it. Agent Swan from the Minnesota office of the FBI. That is his problem. Right. If the gangs and the Black Panthers are down there fighting each other and doing violence, they're not in the UPK. If they came into the UPK, they would be behaving as us. Right. But they're not. That means Agent Swan got to deal with them. That's his problem. That's not our problem. All right? Shout out to Officer McCabe down there that dealt with that problem. And his camp leader. Keep going.
Verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman.
You get that. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman created for the man. If you're a woman, that's your whole duty in life, is to serve a man. That's the point of you. That's the whole reason you exist. Is that so bad? My whole duty in life is to serve Commanding General YAHANNA. That is my entire mission in life, and life is only about that for me. Life is about nothing else. If General YAHANNA went to go start a hot dog stand, then I would have to go and work that hot dog stand. If General YAHANNA said, instead of the UPK, I'm not doing UPK no more, I'm selling hot dogs, then I would be the chief hot dog seller at General YAHANNA's hot dog venue and hot dog emporium. I'm assigned to him, and I just help him on what he wants to do. Thank the Lord, he wanted to build the Israelite School of UPK and build it stronger than when it was first given to him. Thank the Lord. Because if he didn't, I'd be selling hot dogs with him wherever he was. Well, if you're a woman, your job is to serve your husband or serve your father. That is it. Which is why in marriage, the husband, the father gives the daughter to the husband because she was his and now she is his. Her life is about them. And she can do great good if she knows her purpose. She can be a doctor and a lawyer and a judge on the Supreme Court if she's doing it for her man. She can do great things. Keep going.
But the woman for the man.
Everybody understands that.
Verse 10. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head.
To be what? To have what?
Power on her head.
You get the point, Hazahab. That's what that covering is. Power on her head. Like she's like, imagine somebody like this, and then her husband just does this. Where it's just a power forcing her head under subjection in the spirit. That's why she covers her head. She's trying to let everybody know there's a man I answer to. I answer to a man. And you're trying to let everyone know you answer to God. Right. That's why you uncover your head. Keep going.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels.
Because of what?
The angels.
Why because of the angels? How's a hub?
The angels would give her the protection.
Why should she cover her head? Because of the angels.
Because the angels are watching.
Because they're watching her when she prays or prophesies. So now she's praying to God, but the angel that's there to get her prayer says, where's your head covering? Right. You don't listen to nobody? You're not ruled by anybody? Oh, you do what you're an independent woman. Well, I'm out. I don't need to help independent women. Shit, do it on your own. I'm gone. I'll go help these poor sisters that need a man. Right. You're an independent woman. You don't need nobody. Well, shit, what am I doing here? What's the angels doing there for? Go ahead.
Well, she has a personal relationship with
She
God.
got a personal relationship. I'm out.
Right.
No reason for the angel to hear her prayer.
Right.
The angel wants to see that there is authority on her head.
Right.
Power, which is what the name power means, authority. Power on her head. The angel wants to see that she's humble to the man on earth if she wants God to hear her prayers in heaven. He wants to see how you treat that brother that's laying in your bed. How do you deal with him? Well, go deal with that before you go to God. Because if you're not obeying him, don't ask God for anything. Everybody understands. Keep going.
1 Corinthians 11:11. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman.
Nevertheless, meaning even though I just said that, neither is the man without the woman. Meaning what? We need each other. Men need women. Please believe that. My whole life is fueled by women. Everything that I've ever done is fueled by women. At all I can do, I don't know if I can find my sock without a goddamn woman's help. Give them a hand. I wouldn't be able to find the sock, move from here. I don't know where food comes from. Food appears. I went to the supermarket one day. I had to leave. Because I don't know, where is shit at in there? Excuse my language. Where is the bread in the supermarket? I'm walking around, where in the hell is the bread at in here? I'm searching up and down the damn aisles. I said, enough of this shit, I'm leaving. I can't find anything in a supermarket, ever. I don't know where food comes from. It is sitting there on the damn table. As far as I know, you need women. Women are absolutely vital. You can't exist without them. Even though you are their boss and you are their authority, you absolutely need them. Let that be a lesson for you captains in 5,000s. You might be a captain in the 5,000. Captain in the 5,000 over nothing without the brothers. Without troopers and officers, what in the hell are you 5,000 over? Nothing. You need them to even exist. Right. And that is an important lesson that Command and General YAHANNA taught us all. How to honor the people who you are over. How to honor the people who are beneath you in authority, and to realize that you are absolutely nothing without them. Everyone understands. And that the same, and the same goes for women. It's exactly, without them, there just could be nothing at all. You absolutely need them. And you are the authority and the power in their life. Keep going.
Neither the woman without the man in the Lord.
I pray you understand that. And without a man, a woman just would be nothing. Without a man, you know what a woman would do? A woman would just invent a boss. The credit card company would be her boss. Some dyke, some LGBTQ member. She'd have a fake man. And that's what lesbianism is so funny. It's so funny in that you go get this, you get a woman, she's 50 pounds overweight on purpose.
Right.
She's 50 pounds overweight on purpose so she can be more masculine. She gets a fake penis. And she cheats on you and beats you. Also, she can be the man that you don't want. because you don't want to be with her. Because you don't want to be with a man. Right. It's ridiculous. And if not some dyke, man, you let TV be your boss. Commercials. Right. You know, Fendi and Gucci. That would be your boss. Like that, Fendi would be your man. It would be if you would just buy what they tell you to buy. You go to work every day to give them your money. You would just find a way to have some other boss because you'd be walking around in need of a boss. And the UPK is where you can find your boss if you're a woman. You come in here and we'll give you a boss to lead you. Levi. I was going to say
celebrities, sir.
Oh, my Jesus Christ. Some celebrity would be your husband. You would watch TV and you would just, okay, buy that, live there, move to Atlanta. Should I move to Atlanta? Okay, I'll move to Atlanta. That's where they want me to move to. Move to Atlanta. Have that credit card. Buy that bag. Buy that bag. Okay, I'll buy that bag. Buy those shoes. I'll buy those shoes. Live in Atlanta. Okay, work where? You would just find somebody to tell you what to do. If you didn't have a man, a woman, you cannot live without a man. He is absolutely essential to your life. Shalayala.
And astrology and all that garbage.
Some old swami would be your fake husband. Swamis and hustlers, astrology. You look at the damn horoscope. Okay, do this today. The horoscope giving you instructions on what you should do every day, because you need to be told what to do. And a woman should face that in herself. She needs someone to tell her what to do. Well, you're in the right place. In the UPK, we specialize in telling people what to do. You need a man, and you found one. Go ahead.
I was going to say the other fake man, the LGBTQ man, like Kevin Samuels, Derek Jackson, etc.
Kevin Samuels will give you all your instructions. And Kevin Samuels will chastise a woman.
Right.
Belittle her. And you know where women go? He's telling the truth. He's hurting my feelings. He must be my husband. That's right, Kevin Samuels. He hurt my feelings just now. Damn, I guess he my man. He broke my heart just now. He embarrassed me in public. He must be my husband. You'll find somebody to do the things that a man would do to you. I'll embarrass you. I'll embarrass the hell out you in public. That's a joke about you. About you like, yes, embarrassed. I'm joking. It's a joke. About you like, right. Do it, sir. I'm joking. The point is, Kevin Samuels is a terrible fake husband, all right? He embarrasses you in public. He belittles you about your looks and about your weight and about your career, but he's still a man. And if you don't have one, you'll go find him. That's the point I'm trying to make. I got to get off of this topic, too. Let me get him. Go ahead.
Constance, like you want to go into the sick and and fasting in the Day of Atonement and sick people?
This question?
I was just going to say the greatest man of all is white Jesus.
How did I forgive that? Give him a hand. Jesus Christ. That's your husband. White Jesus. That's your husband. You literally say, I'm married to Jesus. I forget when I started to hear that. It was like in the 90s. I started to hear, we're married to Jesus. Damn. Just give somebody some, man. Give some of these brothers some. You ain't got to get married to Jesus. Give him some. Give Abadja some. Give him a hand. Put the camera on Abadja. Give Abadja some. Give him some. Give him some. Hold up. I know you should give some. Give this brother right here went on a fast on a while he got kidney dialysis. Give him some. That brother is strong. Let him lead you. Let him tell you what to do. He is no coward, man. You giving something to white Jesus in your mind. You making white Jesus your husband, the brother who went through the Feast of Atonement, the Day of Atonement, with no food, no water, on dialysis. Give him some. All right, you get the point. All right. Did I break this down for everybody? Nice and flat, solid. Let me get a bun. Go ahead.
Us to remind you about breaking down the sick, who could fast, who can't fast, Day of Atonement.
Okay, let me do that quickly, all right? What other questions do you have?
We got a few. Salakia, can I get a breakdown on Salakia general fake Israelites use Joshua 14:14 said that other nations can have inheritance in the kingdom. They say Caleb was not a real Judite because Yephuneh being called the Canaanite.
Canaanites were Israelites. Yeah, Canaanite was a family in Judah.
Right.
That's all it was. I believe the captain is going to pull it out. Caleb was a Judite. And there were no non-Israelites in the nation of Israel at all after they kicked out the mixed multitude who had heathen wives because they were sinners. There were never any Israelite men who were in the nation came out of Egypt at all. I mean, heathen men. There were never any heathen men. But there were heathen women because they took sinners with them. And some sinners had Egyptian wives. Just like if we took every Israelite out of America, some of those Israelites would have white women as their wives, African women. I'm good to go, warrior. The water. Well, out of Egypt, they just took everybody. So some men had heathen wives. But then a day came when they got rid of those men and their wives. Right. And they was out, and that's that. But there were never any heathen men ever in the nation of Israel coming out of Egypt. The Canaanites, I believe they're called, were a family in Judah. A family. You get my point? Canaanite meant that they were just a big, large family in the tribe of Judah, but they were still Judites, all right? Caleb is a Judite. Whenever you get it, you can get it.
Sir. This number is 34 and 18. It says, and ye shall take one prince of every tribe to divide the land by inheritance. Verse 19. And the names of the men are these, of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh.
I don't know what else I can do for you. I mean, so now when it calls him a Canaanite, it's just like Isaiah and Jeremiah that were a Shemanite or a Shalamite, right? Because of their family. It just meant the son of. Right. You get my point? So they're a Judite and they're a Shalamite because they're from the tribe of Judah. But after that, there's a large family with a name who are called the Canaanites. Right. Like the Johnsons or the Smiths. It doesn't mean they're a nation. They're just a very large family within this tribe. And that's it. All right, I got to go. Go ahead.
Sick, fasting.
Okay, let me explain to you real fast. All right. The fast, right? Not everyone in the nation of Israel has to keep the fast on the Day of Atonement. Right. The pregnant and the sick. The pregnant and the sick are who we speak about right here in that precept you just pulled, which is who is taken care of in that fast. So you got pregnant people. If you're a pregnant woman, you do not do the fast. You're forbidden to do the fast by the orders of Command and General YAHANNA. Right. Children, no child is allowed to do the fast.
Breastfeeding women as well, sir?
Breastfeeding women are not allowed. You're forbidden to do the fast. Does everyone understand? Every year, I got to hear about some parent that made their 9-year-old or their 7-year-old fast. If I hear about it again, I'm going to send someone to your house once a week to check on your parenting. And there will be nothing you can do to stop me. Do you understand? A child is not allowed to fast in the UPK, right? We're strong. We fast for the children. Right. We'll fast for them. We'll get stronger and stronger to be better parents. A child doesn't go to work and pay bills. Right. A child doesn't keep the lights on, and a child doesn't fast. That's something that the parent will do for the child. Do you understand? I'm telling you for the last time. If I hear about, oh, well, my 7-year-old, she's strong. He's strong. Who asked you were they strong? Your 9-year-old is not allowed to fast. They don't fast. You get your wicked behind in there and fast. You do it for them. And every time I hear about some parent making their child fast, it makes me wonder exactly how wicked is this parent that they even want this child to go through this. Maybe they don't want to go through it themselves. Maybe that's the kind of person they are. Because a good parent would say, nah, you go ahead and eat. I think some of you terrible parents out there, you don't want your child to be eating around you while you're fasting. I think that's what it actually is. Hold your point. I think really what it is that you have to fast, but you don't want your child, you don't have to make that child them waffles. What's those waffles that you put in the toaster? Eggo. I don't think you want to make those Eggos. I think you don't want to make Eggos because you're on a fast. And you don't want to make that from French toast sticks or that Cheerios. So you say, no, you got to fast too, little boy. You got to fast. You make your children fast because you're such a selfish, dirty pig that you don't want to have to fix that little boy juice. Let me tell you what you better do in your fast. You better go in that refrigerator, you better see the little thing sweating, little bead of water dripping down. Pour that orange juice like this here. Let it fall down like a waterfall. Into that cup, get that bowl of cereal with that colorful cereal. Pour the milk, or let the milk wash over it like a fountain. Get a spoon and say, here you go, baby. And the baby will say, Mama, you not going to eat? No, baby, Mommy's on a fast today. That's what I want to see you do. Right. I want to see you suffer. You make your child food, make them breakfast, and eat nothing. Don't taste it. Don't look at it. When you go to brush your teeth, put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, no water. You need it straight up anyway. That's what you need. You need that. You need that toothpaste unchased, with no chaser. A lot of you chasing that toothpaste. I can tell. Don't chase it. Let that toothpaste hit them teeth. You on a fast anyway. You better get strong. You better go in there and get that toothpaste unchased. Brush your teeth and keep spitting to make sure no moisture from the toothpaste got in your mouth. Children do not fast on the Day of Atonement. Does everyone understand? Now, go ahead.
I just wanted to know when can a child what's called
fast, right?
Yeah,
There's a season in life when your child becomes an adult. If you don't know that season, you call your camp leader about it. It's after puberty. In a general sense, it's 14, 15. In a general sense. Okay, not every child has puberty at the same age. But there's a time when you go, oh, this is a woman around this house with me. This ain't a little girl anymore. Her body is bigger than yours. She's a grown-ass woman. You can just tell that this is not a little girl anymore, right? You better start making her fast. Because before you know it, all of the problems of womanhood are going to be on her. Everyone understands. There's a time when that boy is not a little boy anymore. It's around 14 and 15. And he is going to be, some of your sons, I want to call them Caleb, which means the dog. Some of these kids in here are hounds, especially out in the West Coast. I've heard all your stories, West Coast. It's some little brothers on the West Coast chasing more tail than all of y'all. I know who you are, and I hear about you, and I'll see you out there at the barbecue. Your son is a hound. He needs to fast. Do you understand? He's a hound. He's chasing tail all through the UPK events. Put him on the fast. He needs it. He's a man. He's not a little kid anymore. That's not according to his rod. His rod is grown. It's time for him to take a fast. It's time for him to learn how to fight his own lust. Otherwise, all of the problems of manhood will be on him. Right. Everybody understands. Now, that's in general 14, 15. There is no specific date that it happens because it's a season in life. You as a parent, you got to watch your child to go, his voice is different. He's not my baby anymore. You get my point? You got to look at him and kind of go, this ain't the same baby I was raising. Right. Let me check him out for 1 year. Let me see it. And then 1 year you might look at it. You might go, I'm not going to do it this year, but I know it's coming. Now you're watching him or you're watching her. But it's a parent. You have to know that, all right? Puberty happens around 14, 15. You get my point, right? Now, for the sick, the brother, let me use this brother right here for an example since he was so gracious in telling us about his kidney dialysis, right? Now, kidney dialysis usually is an illness that you can fast with. I've counseled many brothers who are on kidney dialysis, and they, in general, are able to go 1 day without food or water. This is your first time doing it, correct? So then you're going to have to look at today. You've done it. So because you did it, that would usually indicate that you can do it. You get my point. So in your case, I would say you can do this every year. Now, could things change? They could. With the Lord's help, things will get better. And you'll be more able to do it because you were willing to do it this year. The Most High can change everything about your situation, making you stronger and stronger, thereby being able to fast more. You understand? So if you're on kidney dialysis, in my experience now, people on kidney dialysis can do the Day of Atonement. They can fast. Am I saying everyone can? I am not. There's some brothers who are in far worse condition, and maybe they cannot do it. They're going to have to get some counsel, go talk to their doctor, and explain it to them to find out whether they can do it. You have done it. You look excellent. You look great. It looks like you can do it. You get my point. Give him a hand. All right. So now, diabetes, usually you can do it with diabetes. You'll have to modify your insulin, modify your metformin if you're on that. You have to adjust your medications because you cannot eat. So more than likely you just forego eating, which means you forego your medicine. Sometimes the medicine says you have to eat with this medicine. Then you have to forego the medicine and not take it. If you cannot take it, if you cannot forego the medicine, then you have to take the medicine without eating. You cannot do this without knowing that you can, which means you talk to a doctor. You explain to the doctor your religious beliefs and what you would like to do. And he'll tell you whether or not you can go just one day without medication. Most medication you can miss a day. A lot of you out there on that psychiatric medication, you've been without that your entire damn life. So you might be able to go one day without the medication, or you take the medication and just go through the nausea, right? Go through the nausea of taking your psychiatric drugs without eating. You're not going to die. You're not going to faint, but your stomach might feel like, it might feel sour. It might feel upset. Suffer it. Most of you brothers and sisters out there who are on psychiatric meds, you need this anyway. You need the ability to fight yourself, because after the Day of Atonement is over, guess what a voice in your head is going to tell you to do? Who wants to guess? A bun?
Argue or start a fight.
Oh, before that, a voice in your head while you're on drugs for your psychiatric needs, what is a voice in your head going to tell you to do?
Stop taking it. You don't need it.
A voice in your head 2 months from now is going to say, I don't need to take those meds. I'm perfectly fine without them. What will you do? A bun?
You're not going to take them. You're going to listen. If you don't fast.
If you don't fast, you'll listen to that voice that says, I don't need to take these psychiatric drugs. I'm perfectly fine without them. Unless you are able to fight the voices in your head, unless you know how to fast. If you know how to fast, you'll hear that voice say, I don't need these meds. I haven't had an incident in a month. I'm okay. And then you'll say, no, my husband told me to take them. My doctor told me to take them. My camp leader told me to take them, so I have to take them even though I don't think I need to. You only get that type of ability. You only practice it with fasting. You had something you want to bring out about fasting too? Oh, yeah, okay. You have go ahead, wrap it. 9:15, Tazariak or what? Go ahead.
Being practiced. New evidence shows fasting may slow down aging. Fasting to stop yourself from aging might sound new agey, but the concept is getting some serious backing and scientific studies. A study from Japan showed that not only does fasting speed up metabolism, it also may reverse the aging process.
Now the Bible is many thousands of years old. Real science is in the Bible.
Right.
And I've tried to constantly prove that point to you dummies out there time and time again. You think you know science if you learn something in opposition to the Bible.
Right.
God created man and heaven and earth. He understands science. And thousands of years ago, the Lord said fasting is good.
Right.
Built fasting into your culture.
Right.
Built it literally into your culture. And now here we are in 2021. Scientists say, you know what, this fasting thing might have might be a good idea. It might reverse aging, it might speed up metabolism. It's good for you. So now the white man said it now. God said it thousands of years ago in the time of Moses. You're not going to listen. Anything else? That's good for that. Let me wrap up in the last couple.
We got Salakius. Can the general please explain and show in scripture how do we know that today is the correct day for the Day of Atonement, and show in the scriptures what month is the first in the year?
Yeah, that's General Mayak does all of that out with Commander General YAHANNA.
Right.
I just go ahead and obey whatever General Mayak tells me.
Right.
General Mayak goes and works out the calendar. It's something to do with the moon, which I don't know how to do. But General Mayak is an expert at it. He's been doing it 30 years. where they work out the moon and the this and the that, and with the whole goddamn lunar calendar. With the farmers, I went there one day, he had a whole map out on the damn desk with the moon and all of this shit on it. I said, I'm out. Whatever you, just tell me when to come to the Passover. I can't answer that. I don't know it. But General Mahayaman, he knows it. He and Commanding General YAHANNA, they sit down and work out the moon and the levels of the moon and the different stages of the moon. And they know exactly what season we're in. They work out the whole damn leap year and all of this math, which I don't know a damn thing about any math. I show up. That's my only ability. My greatest ability is showing up. So here I am on the Day of Atonement. That's it. But General, I don't know how they do it. It's something with the moon. Somehow they work out some situation with the moon, but I don't know how to do it. But the Day of Atonement, it tells you when it's in Leviticus 23. This particular month, this particular time in the month, General Mahayaman sits down and he goes through this whole goddamn equation with when the seasons are. And I show up. Here's what this brother has to do. Show up. This much you can guarantee. There is nothing in the UPK that's wrong. Nothing. The things that you don't understand are the things that you don't understand because you're stupid. You just show up, and then before you know it, you might be less stupid than you are right now. Right? Hopefully. Anything else?
We have a question online, and I also had a personal question.
Go ahead.
The online or mine?
Online.
Okay, online. Brother, somebody wrote, Salakia, sir, if I may, sir, are the pyramids in 1 Maccabees 13, verse 28, the same pyramids as we know them today, sir? If so, are we the ones who made the pyramids for our other heathen oppressors, the Egyptians? I have 28.
Let me read that. I can't recall that. Go ahead.
1 Maccabees 13 and 28. This is just a backdrop. This is Simon, the son of Mattathias.
Okay.
Basically 28. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father, that would be Mattathias, and his mother, and his 4 brethren.
I recall now. Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, the pyramids, I guess, another word for basically a sepulcher or a mausoleum, as we know them today.
Okay, similar. It's very similar to a sepulcher or a mausoleum. Let me just try to explain how they started, all right? We definitely, the Israelites are absolutely the ones that built the pyramids in Egypt, right? I'll explain how they started in the simplest way. Those of you, everyone here has been to a funeral before, correct? Okay, you've been to a grave site, right? They dig a big hole, and they put the coffin in the hole, correct? Okay, then after they dug the hole, then they do what with the dirt that was in the hole? Who knows? Asher. They put the dirt back on top of the hole, which now has the coffin in the hole. So how do I know if I'm looking at, if I'm in a graveyard, how do I know if there's a body or coffin in a hole that's filled? Banyamyan. There is a mound on top of, the coffin, right? Pyramids started as burial mounds. It's just that hill that is on top of a body that's in the ground. The body takes up space. So the ground is flat. I dig a hole, I put a body in it, then I fill it up, and then I'll see a lump because there's a body in the hole. As everyone, you at least understand what I'm saying. Well, over time, that got more grand. And then they began to, make them bigger and build the mounds bigger. And then began to have chambers so you could go down and then see the body. And then bury things with him. And bury this and bury that. But it started off just as that lump. And the very old pyramids in Egypt are small lumps. You can go Google this. They're just lumps. And then the lumps get bigger. And then forget about it if you're a rich man. Then before you know it, this lump is a giant spire into the sky. It's bigger. And it's what we would call a sepulcher. Now it's like a hole in the ground, dug out in the ground with a giant, they pour cement on top of it, right? Which is what a sepulcher is to us, which is what a pyramid is to the Egyptians. when they pour cement on top to now freeze the lump in time. So now it's captured in time. In Israel, it would be a sepulcher where you could go into that hole. Now there's a door coming from the lump down to the casket. You could go in there and tend to the body, rubbing with oils to keep the stink away. It was just a sign of respect for your loved one, which is why Mary, the sister, was down there rubbing the body of Christ with salves and herbs, trying to just keep the smell down through the decaying process. It was just a sign of love for the person that died. That was a sepulcher, right? The Egyptians, of course, they believed they were gods. So they built a goddamn burial mound to the sky.
Right.
We are the ones that built the Egyptian pyramids, absolutely. And we're the ones that had it as our culture. And in our culture, we call them sepulchers, which was a cement or a big hole in the ground that you could go down into. A rock was in front of it, but it started as just that little lump. That's how it started, and then it grew over time, like any innovation. All right, in the back.
I'm saying they have that now, where it's like a big, like almost like a house. Almost you can go into the graveyard.
There you go. That's where it starts. Exactly. I'm just giving you the evolution of it. It just grew over time. People loving their loved ones, wanting to do more of a show, for their loved one, wanting to express love for this person that they lost. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Everybody understands. And the president or pharaoh, the whole nation has to suffer so he can have a house after he's dead. You understand? All right. What was your other question?
My question was about to take to the streets. I see a lot of division and everything going on in America, like the whole vaccination mandate thing,
right.
And also the rally that's coming on Friday.
Yeah, there's a rally Friday in D.C., right?
Yeah, basically, Cloud Boys Part 2, or January 6th, too, people are thinking it's going to be. And then also another thing that I saw in the news recently, I don't know how true it is. They could be just sounding a fake alarm, but people are afraid there may be a shutdown in the next 2 weeks if this $3 trillion Biden want don't go through.
What's your question?
My question is, would this be the proper time to bring out all my see that ye be not troubled scriptures?
Absolutely. Okay. Does anyone, we're here in New York, right?
Right.
Does anyone remember the mosque that they were going to build at Ground Zero? Explain that to me if you remember it. You remember? Give him the microphone.
Mike.
So I don't remember the guy's name. They were basically, in a sense, they were going to build a mosque. They were going to build a mosque outside of the World Trade Center. In a nutshell.
Where it used to be. Right. They were going to build a mosque close to the World Trade Center at Ground Zero. And brother, there was so much political fervor about this. If you weren't around back then or of age to know, I can't even describe it to you. It was way worse than this vaccination thing. It was gigantic. They were going to build a mosque at Ground Zero. Brother, there was so much fight politically. It was on TV every second of the day. It was ridiculous. Go ahead.
I got it here. Prominent opponents and supporters of the project were found among the families of the 9/11 victims, the American and worldwide Muslim communities, and local and national politicians, making it a divisive political campaign issue in the 2010 midterm elections.
If you want to understand politics, right, let me just try to give it to you in the simplest way. Politics mean nothing. Politics, you know what politics are? It's sport.
Right.
To distract you. It means nothing. This 9/11 mosque, brother, was the biggest thing in the world. It was all that mattered in life, is whether or not these Muslims got to build a mosque on 9/11. And now you don't even remember it. You understand? It's nothing. Politics, it's football.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's basketball. There are people who get their distraction from the Giants and the Jets.
Right.
And there are people that get their distraction from the Democrats and the Republicans.
Right.
None of it means anything. It's whatever you like to get your brain all wrapped up in so you can forget about everyday life and what is actually happening to you. That's it. So as far as what's happening January 6th, this protest, it means utterly nothing. That's another reason why Agent Swan was calling Rakabia, because they're worried that we're going to go out there January 6th and break windows and kill people. We don't do that, Ak.
Right.
That is not what we do. We don't give a damn about any of that. Who cares? That's for people in the world to pick their team and then fight for their team. Who's your team? The vaccinated. Who's your team? The unvaccinated. It's my team. And we fighting, damn it, you bastards. You ain't gonna vaccinate me. You better get vaccinated. Whatever. All right. Okay, at the end of this, you will live in that hovel.
Right.
And there will be drugs on your corner. And you will be poor. And you will suffer no matter who gets vaccinated, doesn't get vaccinated, who wins the White House, Democrats or Republicans. It is a game for people to get distracted. That's all politics. And guess what? The people in the game, they never leave. Them congressmen been congressmen since 1972.
Right.
They never leave. Joe, you know how long Biden has been around? Biden has been around since the 70s. And guess what? Every year, I hate Biden. I love Biden. I hate Biden. I love Biden. He's been around since 72.
Right.
He's staying. You get my point? Just face it. He's not leaving. I can't stand him. I love him. I can't stand him. I love him. He's there. Everybody's there. No one's going anywhere. The same families. Jesus Christ, a few of them families, it was like all the Bushes been president. Everybody just staying, all the Kennedys, all the Bushes.
Right.
Barack Obama was related to John Cheney. Dick Cheney. Enough of that game, okay? In the UPK, we got some real problems for you to focus on.
Right.
Some actual things that if you devoted your attention to, you could fix them. But if you can't go without food and water for 24 hours, you can't do anything. With that, pass the class over to the officer.